Lesson 45, difference of two squares theorem. Earlier, we've had, well, let's not write it like that yet. Let's write it as x squared equals 4. What is x? 2. Is it?
Yes.
Are you sure? Is it only 2?
Not anymore.
How many answers are there?
Negative 2.
How many answers are there?
2.
How do you know?
Because you like to know.
We know how to do it.
Because you're suggesting.
Because there's a 2 up there.
Yeah.
There's 2 answers. Okay. So, if you're going to solve this algebraically, you're going to write this as, whoops, x squared minus 4 equals 0. What do you know about this right here?
It is a binomial.
Okay. It's a true statement. Yep.
You could take the square root.
We just talked about what that is called when you do that. What is this?
A minus sign.
So, when you have two things subtracted, you're taking the difference. The difference of
Equation.
2 squares.
2 squares.
Yes!
The difference of 2 squares says that the first one is what?
X minus
X
2.
plus 2.
Always minus first.
Plus is first. Because plus is
Okay,
better.
x minus 2, x plus 2. That means that in order for this to be a true statement,
X
this has to
equals
be 0
negative 2.
or that has to be 0, which means x equals 2 or negative 2 in order to make that work. That's a long drawn out process for something you can do in your head, I know. But later on it won't be so long and drawn out because it'll be the only way to do it.
So it'll still be long and drawn out, you just won't be able to do it again.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, man.
Okay. So if I have something along that same idea, x plus 17, the quantity squared, equals, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Sometimes it's just
2?
doing
Is that
That's
a
a
2?
2.
Is that a 2 or is that a wave crashing?
It's a 2.
Or is that a swan? Looks like a
Wave
swan.
crash. It's a common. It's like a.
There we go.
All right. So there's a 2. Anybody have any ideas as far as how to solve something like that? Again, we're solving for x.
First, you break down that x plus 17. Wrong.
So you want to go x plus 17
You
times x
expand it.
plus 17. And then do the FOIL method.
No. And then you set them both equal to 2, and then you
Then you
solve.
bring the 2 over.
And there's only going to be
Just
one
square it
answer.
up.
I petition for the FOIL method.
X squared.
Okay, I hear some ideas for the FOIL method. What if I were to tell you there's a really fast and easy and
I
slick
would-
way of
We
doing
would
it?
like that.
I
right?
hate the FOIL.
You would say mine. All right. All right, so when you're doing a regular algebra problem, let's just kind of ignore this. Whoops.
Yeah, no.
Is that gonna be?
No issues found.
Ignore this problem that I have.
That's awesome.
Ignore the problem I have up there for a minute. And let's look at 3x equals 12. How do you solve that?
Divide by 3.
Why?
Because
that's
then
how
you want to get
algebra
x
works.
alone.
Because that's how algebra works. Okay, because the 3 is multiplied, in order to get rid of it, you do the opposite.
So steal the x.
If I had x plus 3 equals 12, you would subtract 3 because that's the opposite. It's the same way when you're dealing with exponents.
Square
What
root.
is the opposite of exponent?
Oh,
Square root.
square
The
root.
root. So if I took the square root of both sides, this all would disappear. The square root would both disappear. And
That equals
1, 2.
1.4124.
equals
Plus or
plus or
minus.
minus the square root of 2. Why plus or minus the square
Why
root
is
of
it
2?
12?
Or, I'm sorry.
Because
Well, I'm
there's
really going to
two
mess you up, aren't I?
2 answers.
That's what happens on Mondays when I haven't had coffee for a couple hours. Okay.
Because there's 2 answers.
There's 2 answers.
And when if you broke that down, it would be x plus 2, or x plus
Yeah.
17 and x minus 17.
Yeah. I mean, what two numbers, or what numbers multiplied together give you 4? 2 times 2. But negative 2 and negative 2 also do it. So you have to have a plus or minus to say, I'm talking,
Wait, is that your answer?
oh no, I haven't solved for x yet, have
Okay, I didn't know that was the answer.
I? So how do I get rid of the number with the x?
Minus.
Subtract 17.
That's my answer.
That's your answer?
Yes,
Yes.
negative 17 plus or minus the square root of 2. Which means I've got two answers. Negative 17 plus the square root of 2, negative 17 minus the square root of 2.
How?
So those are my two answers.
That's way easier than
I like it.
Wait, how would it be plus the square root of 2?
How would it be plus? Why would it not be plus?
I mean, x plus 17 plus or minus the square root of 2.
There you go.
We took the 17 here and moved it to the other side, so it made it negative. You see why we have a plus or minus here in the
No,
beginning?
you said it could be x equals negative 17 plus or minus 2 or x.
No.
Oh, I thought you said plus 17 or minus 17.
Oh, no, just these two would change.
Okay.
All right, one more, and we'll call it good.
That 2 is more like an R.
Dang it, fractions.
Oh, don't let the fractions bother you with these. So guys, I'm going to need you to focus here. You're having a hard time. Okay, so according to what I just showed you, if we take the square root of both sides, we get x plus 2/5 equals plus or minus square root of 3. What do we do with that 2/5? Move it to the other side and we're done.
Word.
Make sure you put your radical at the end.
So you don't have to mess with the fractions at all?
No, just leave it just like that.
Okay.
I mean, you could combine them by making the common denominators and all that, but
Down a little bit.
that's really not